Alright folks, in this particular tutorial I'm just going to show you how to work with pgAdmin. Okay, so the pgAdmin is basically one of the clients that you can utilize for PostgreSQL to connect with, and it is often utilized with PostgreSQL, but you can utilize with some other SQL server as well. I'm not quite sure. So it is very popular when it comes to working with servers. So you're talking about Linux servers. So here we have Debian 13, which is basically the latest versions of Debian 13. In my last lecture, I provided you information on how to install Postgre. So you can't really install pgAdmin without having PostgreSQL running. So the PostgreSQL is running at this computer, so which I'm going to show you first, and then we're going to go ahead and install pgAdmin. So you being a Java developer, for example, or a full stack web applications developer, you don't want to know how to work with sysadmin and how to install all these things. So all these informations are out there. You just have to have some basic understanding of a Linux sysadmin, and you should be good to go. So this lecture, I cannot do it on my own. Okay, as simple as that, because I'm not sysadmin, and nobody expects you to be sysadmin to become a Java developer. So you're gonna have to Google a bit and understand how it works. So this lecture is the crucial part of this lecture is basically to understand that intricacies. Okay, so let's jump right in and take a look into how we can actually resolve all these issues. So as I said, the first thing I want to do is basically I want to go into your command line. That's where you're going to be working 99% of your time. So if I just type psql minus v, it tells you the PostgreSQL 17.5 is installed. And if I do systemctl status PostgreSQL, it tells you, yeah, so I made mistakes in the command lines. That's why it's the keyboard. Let me just change the keyboard because that keyboard is kind of screwed up. Let me just change the keyboard. Right, okay. So it's systemctl status PostgreSQL, okay, and it tells you that it is active and it's loaded. So it's the PostgreSQL is installed into this computer. What I meant by this Linux is Debian system, and you're all good to go. So from here, the first thing I'm gonna do is basically gonna show you the guy who made a nice video right here. Okay, this guy, forget about this bull, the advertisements. I think that's why they get paid. This guy made a good video about how to install Postgre and pgAdmin tool on Debian 12. Okay, so we are utilizing Debian 13, but it should work because pgAdmin has not been changed. So we're gonna discard. We're gonna totally ignore these PostgreSQL installations because we don't need any of that. So we're gonna follow creating a PostgreSQL. Installing pgAdmin administration tool. But like I said, you have to have certain skill in terms of understanding what's going on in terms of your command. So he utilized sudo command. I hate sudo, so I'm not going to use sudo at all. So this is something that you need to understand fast, and then you need to understand what's going on in terms of what this command is all about. So this command is pretty simple. It's basically telling you to find the keyring and add it into your server. So we're gonna create a script, and then we're gonna utilize that script into our favor. The way I do it is basically I'm gonna go to the gedit. So this is the file, and then we're gonna save that file as like pgAdmin installation Debian 13 and Optiplex 990. You don't need to know that because that's just basically for my own reference. And then the extension is .txt. So that's the way it's file going to be installed, saved. Okay, so we're going to put it out under Postgres under documents. Okay, so we're just gonna keep it here and save that file right there. Okay, so from here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna start it working with his command. So the command he put it out right here. So just copy that whole command, and we're gonna amend that command because we don't need this command. Okay, so we're gonna change that command. So you make sure that you know what I'm doing. So we don't need sudo because I hate sudo. And then you can see what he has done here. Okay, and we're gonna get rid of the sudo things right here. Okay, so just know the path scapt source/d, and that's what he has done. That's your first command, and we're gonna implement this command in our main root directory. So let's jump right into look into his next command. His next command is this one, and then again he put out the goddamn gp sudo here. So we're gonna do copy that, and then we're gonna put it right here. That's the second one. And then we're gonna change that sudo things. We don't need that sudo. Okay, so he's basically adding the gpg keyring. That's fine. Here we go. So that's the gpg keyring, and then he has done, so he's following that by, so then apt install pgAdmin, we should be all good to go. And after that we don't need particularly anything. We just the script shell, and during the process you'll be asked about the following configuration: input your admin user and password for pgAdmin, input Y to enable the WSGI, input Y to install Apache 2 web server. Right, okay, so here there's one thing that we need to be careful, because in order for us to do that in Apache, we do also need Apache server running up. Okay, so we need to install Apache and make sure the Apache is running up and running. We don't need to configure Apache at this point, but we should be all good to go. So that's the thing that we're gonna do. So we're gonna go to the command line, and once we're in the command line, what I want to do is basically I'm going to do su-l, put the root password right here, and then cd root, and then I can do pwd to see where you are. And if you do systemctl status Apache 2, let's see what happens. Apache is actually installed and running, so we don't have to worry about Apache as well. Okay, that's good news. So you don't have to install Apache. Apache is running, so we don't have to worry about that. What it means is basically if you do hostname -i, I'll show you now. It shows you the local IP address. So if you go into Firefox, and you can either tap localhost, or you can type the same IP address, .168.1.236, and it will show you Apache. So that shows you that Apache is up and running. You can configure Apache, and that would be a different lecture. As long as Apache is running, we can do the rest of the steps of pgAdmin installations, right? Okay, so from here, what this guy has done is very simple. So let's jump right in. I'm just going to show you what he has done. He's done this stuff in here, and then when everything is finished, launch your web browser. So we do need a couple of things to be remembered. So you get a notepad ready, and it's gonna ask you input your confirm distortion. Now it's gonna ask you about knob distribution Debian here. Input your admin user and password. Okay, so the pgAdmin user and password for pgAdmin 4. Okay, so this is something that you need to really look into. So we type here pgAdmin user. Okay, and then I'm gonna call it gooncat. Okay, and password we're gonna put out gooncat75. Okay, so this is gonna be a pgAdmin user, gooncat and gooncat75, and we should be all good to go, because we've changed the HPA file. In my last lectures I've showed you how to do the HPA configurations files and PGA configuration files to be resolved. And once we do that, we should be able to deploy from the web host, because Apache is running, but it will also install the pgAdmin desktop, and that's what we need to do. So let's jump right in and start working, real work. So from here, I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna enhance the screen a little bit so that you can see better. Okay, for some reason that bottom bit doesn't work, so I'm gonna do this bit. And okay, so let's jump right in and do the stuff. Okay, so from here, what we do need to do at this point is basically very simple. We're not gonna clear it, we're gonna keep it that way, so we're gonna keep the whole script right up. And the first command we put out right here is basically this one. Okay, so this is the command, so we do that and Ctrl+C, and then we're gonna put out right here. Okay, so this command is gonna get the things that we need, and I think we should, yeah, I think we are good to go with this command. Press enter, and if you get your root back, that basically means the command works perfectly fine. Okay, so the next command is this one. Okay, you can see that you don't need sudo. Sudo is crap. You don't need sudo. Don't use sudo at all. So from here, paste it right there and press enter, and that bit's done. And then the rest of the stuff, so we can actually follow from the website, because that's pretty simple, right? So apt update, so do that first, and then apt install pgAdmin 4 web, okay, or pgAdmin 4, okay. Right, okay, so what we're gonna do is, I'm not 100% sure because it installed pgAdmin for web. We want desktop as well. So apt update. Let's just do apt update because I don't really need the web. So let's see what happens. So apt update. Do apt update. So you can see pgAdmin is right there, and then do apt install and take a look in there for the last time as pgAdmin 4 desktop. What about pgAdmin 4 desktop? I'm gonna take a chance here. apt install pgAdmin 4 desktop and see what happens. Press enter. Here we go. So that's the one that you need. Installing pgAdmin desktop, installing dependencies pgAdmin server. That's cool. That's absolutely fine. Click Y, press enter, and we should be all good to go. And the server is going to be up and running as well. So we can do it with the server as well, because what it's going to do is basically it's going to install the pgAdmin web server as well. So it's just going to work out in our favor just fine, I think. We still got a few things need to be resolved. So the pgAdmin desktop is also getting installed. That's cool. So this all get installed. Now we go back there, and we're gonna run after pgAdmin 4 installed, run the script. And that script is going to help us to configure a lot of stuff. So we're going to do that. So we're going to copy that. And we're not just going to copy it in here. We're going to also put out right here as well. So what we have done here so far. Okay, so we're going to put out this one as well. Okay, that's cool. And then from here, just put out right here. And then press enter. Right, okay. I think that didn't happen because the web has not been installed into the computer. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead now with pgAdmin web. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. Copy that, and we want it in here first. Okay, so we're gonna do this one here, and then we're gonna put it right here as well. And that should work just fine. Press enter. That's fine. Press enter. So the web version is also getting installed. Okay, so that's cool. Just make sure that you don't remove anything at this point, and then go back to this guy, and then what he has done is he's basically initiated this process. Now he's gonna work. So just do that. Ctrl+C and put it out in here, and press enter. and now it should work just fine. So it's gonna ask you the password and the username. So enter your email address. So the email address I'm gonna put out is basically Red Hatter 75 Red Hatter 75 at outlook.com. Okay, so I'm gonna put it out in here, email address. It's Red Hatter 75 at outlook.com. Okay, save that. So we go back right there. So one thing out of the way, Red Hatter 75 at outlook.com, press enter, and it's asking the password. So the password we chose is gooncat75. Okay, so gooncat75, press enter and retype gooncat75, press enter, and just wait until it gets configured. Now create storage and log directions. Everything looks fine. Do you wish to continue? Yes, press enter. The Apache web server is running and must be restarted before the pgAdmin installation. Continue. Yes, that's cool, and it's all done. So from now it tells you the web address, so that's why we need the whole thing. So we're gonna select all, copy that, and then put it right up in here. So that's basically so what I'm gonna do is entire output, and then just put it right there. Here we go. So now make sure you save you all that file. So this HTTP, that will work just fine. Control C, and then we go back to Firefox, and then go in here, come here, press Control V, press enter, and you should have your pgAdmin coming up shortly. Okay. And then when it comes back, we still need to go to Firefox. Okay, so we are in the Firefox at the moment, so you're gonna come up with something like that. Okay, and then you put out your username, which is basically your email address, and the password, and you're all good to go. And then we're gonna set this all things up. Okay, so here we go. So you got pgAdmin right here. So put out the password here, or the username. So in our case is Red Hatter. So while we're here, I'm gonna save that right here, and I'm gonna save it as not as Linux. So go to choose and go to bookmark menu and create a new folder and call it Postgres. Okay, so under Postgres, you're gonna save it right here, pgAdmin save, click it, and then put out here Red Hatter 75 at outlook.com. Okay, so from here we're gonna put out the password, which was as far as I remember was gooncat75 or something. Yeah, so gooncat75, gooncat75, and press login, and you go log in and click save that. Okay, so now what that guy has done is basically created the username, so we need to be logged back into the PostgreSQL, and for that I'm going to utilize that, and we're just going to follow what he has done here to just make sure that everything's cool. So you see that is screen right here. So adding PostgreSQL server to pgAdmin administration quick links with pgAdmin. So what we're going to do is in general tab input the PostgreSQL. After installing the pgAdmin, you'll add PostgreSQL server to the pgAdmin 4. Follow this steps. So when the pgAdmin dashboard, click add new server menu. So we're going to do that, add new server, and just follow what he's doing. So let's jump right back in, and we do it from here. So from here, add server, add new server, click that, and then we call it Bushmaster. Okay, Bushmaster. One thing I forgot is basically, oh okay, I remember the password. Okay, so we do that, and then We're gonna look into what this guy has done. So we basically connect now. Okay, that's fine. And then we're gonna go to the now click on the connection tab. So that's really important. So let's just jump into connection tab. In here, our host name is 190.168.1.236, but you can actually check that right in here. So if we just type hostname -i, and the number is 190.168.1.236, and that's the number we want. And it listened to PostgreSQL 5432, okay, and the username in here is gonna be changed. Okay, so the maintenance database, you can look into Postgres or Wildcat. So we created, so we're just gonna keep it maintenance database like Postgres for now. Okay, the username that we're gonna change to Gooncat. Okay, because that's the user we created before. And then the password is Neptune69 for that particular password. Let's jump right back in and see what he has done. So for example, he changed the username and the password and etc, etc. And then he does go to properties. Right, okay, so that's fine. So okay, so we go back right there. In here everything looks cool. Okay, so the role, save password, save, right, okay, so once you click the save button, you should be all good to go. So our username is Gooncat, password is Neptune69, port is 5432 always, unless you change it, and that comes under, the thing that bothers me is basically connections, under connection tab. So under general tab you have Bushmaster, that's your whatever it is called, you know, it's just the name of the server. Okay, it got absolutely nothing to do with your database name. Okay, or database name server. Okay, it's just the name of this particular servers. Okay, and from here, so you go to connections and you make sure that you put out your plug in your host name, and then your database, your username is Gooncat. Your database, you can choose any database you want. Postgres, I've choose Postgres for now, and click save. And now here you are. If you're connected, then you see this screen, and this guy is actually showing you this screen as well, I think somewhere. So he got into all these kind of things that we don't need to look at, but we are all successful at this point. So if you go in there and databases, you see Postgres right there, and you can also see the Wildcats as well. Okay, so you can go into databases, you can see Postgres, and you also see Wildcats as well. So there's obviously nothing there in Wildcats, so everything looks cool. So we are connected, and this concludes this lecture. So you can see how easy it is to work with Postgres. No, sorry, not concluded yet, but so I don't want to work with pgAdmin for into my desktop as well. So this is basically do it configurations in terms of what you've done in the web, and you can actually port map that, and you should be okay. So I'm gonna close that, and this guy being stay on page, leave page. Okay, so this guy's lecture or the blog was really helpful. So I don't know this guy's name because he doesn't put out his name, etc. So, but this is the how to forge. So I am acknowledging that. Okay, so my video tutorial is acknowledging that I learned something from this guy. So learned everything, but it's something that he stood out. Okay, so so basically you need to learn Linux a little bit, and then you should be able to follow his lecture. Okay, so that's why I have bookmarked this tutorial as well. Okay, so that's cool. So from here, so what I'll look at right now is basically I got everything's right here, pgAdmin for Bushcat, and from here, so I don't need that anymore. So I'm gonna clear this screen, and then I'll do apt update just to make sure that everything's cool. And then what I'm gonna do is basically apt upgrade. So I may need to upgrade one package. That's cool. Okay, enter, and then I'm gonna go into pgAdmin desktop. So from here I can do apt auto clean and then do apt auto remove, okay, and then do apt update. Everything looks cool. It should come up just fine. Cool. Clear this screen and then exit and then exit. Okay, so you come out from your command shell, but now in programming you will see your pgAdmin 4 right here, and I'm gonna add to the panel. So right now, so we're gonna go back to, that's the desktop, that's where you're gonna be spending a lot of your time. So it's working out just fine. So what that dude has done, we're gonna do the same things right here. Ball, yeah. Do my balls. Do my balls. It's taking a bit of a while, but it's gonna get there. Ooh yeah. So once you get into that screen again, so what we need to do is add new servers. So I think we have added the servers, but it's probably not showing up right there. So add new server right here, and then we call it bushcat this time, okay? So we call it bushcat, and then from here we go to connection. So we're gonna do 192, plug in the number 192.168.1.236, and then Postgres. So you can keep it Postgres, and we're gonna do the password. In our case, we're going to change the username to boomcat, okay, and the password is Neptune69, okay, and then we are all good to go. Click save, and then you get connected. So you got a bushcat right there, and the databases, you get Postgres and Wildcats as well, okay. It's all cool, so it's all worked out just fine. And then you can also go to the dashboard just by clicking right up there, and then you can look into this one maybe. Oh no, not that one. So you can go into servers, bushcat. Here we go. So you can see the dashboard right here. There's no transactions because we have not done anything here. That's why it's showing like that. It's called dashboard. You can go to states and you can see kind of stuff that's going on right here. Configuration logs and systems permission denied function for pg state file. Don't worry about that too much. And system, don't worry about that. So you got everything's right here, so you can see something's going on. And you can also go to databases right here. So I'm quite happy with Debian 13, the way Debian 13 is worked out. So this actually concludes the lecture. So we have tested pgAdmin. So we installed pgAdmin right into your systems because you need PostgreSQL to working. So we installed PostgreSQL in my last lecture, and in this lecture I showed you how to work with pgAdmin 4, and we installed successfully without any hitches. So that concludes my lectures in pgAdmin. So we got it all concluded in less than 30 minutes. Okay, that's pretty cool, and I'm quite happy with that. So it's gonna be posted up right in the YouTube video, and I'm gonna put a LinkedIn as well, so that people can see what I have done. And if somebody don't like it, that's absolutely cool, because I don't really give a hoot about what people, especially British, so they can look into what they want to look at. But you know, my lectures, my audience is actually pretty cool.